Do you know how 2024 Indian general election is different from the previous elections? What lies ahead for this country when the results will be declared on June 4th? In order to know, keep listening to our video till the end. When we talk about elections, few things are vital, like who are the backers, whom are they backing, what are the voters thinking, and what are the economic reforms. In late 2013, when Goldman Sachs Group turned optimistic on India after a sharp slowdown in growth, the bank titled its report as Modifying. The reference was to Narendra Modi, by then the market's favorite to become Prime Minister. As if to prove that investors were right to back him as an agent of change, Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party papered its 2014 poll manifesto with 22 references to reform. 10 years later, very little remains of that zeal. The BJP's 2024 manifesto still promises to reform, perform, transform. But the few specifics it offers on the economic are modest, such as automatic approvals for standard housing designs. Gone are the days when Modi pledged to change everything from inefficient markets in labor and from produce to entire sectors like banking. And yet, the appetite for a third term for the Indian leader is very high in the global financial industry. The first belief is that while Modi 3.0 may take a more authoritarian turn, the Indian leader won't follow the lead of China's President Xi Jinping. The stock market will still have to read the tea leaves to figure out which business group is likely to be blessed with juicy contracts and favorable policy. But there is little risk of New Delhi turning the screws on the private sector. In other words, no nasty surprises like Beijing's crackdown on its technology industry. The second understanding is that the Indian strongman will not be like the Turkish president Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who has been forced to give up his push for ultra low interest rates, but not before his unorthodox policies sparked an inflation crisis. Even during the pandemic, New Delhi stuck to a fairly conservative fiscal stance, whose only pro poor flourish was free food rations, and it did that in the face of an anemic job market that's still plagued by low quality work. Young graduates are 9 times more likely to be unemployed than those who can't read or write. Yet, Modi is not inclined to take the opposition party's bait on expanding the welfare state beyond free food. He would rather face the country's disillusioned youth that annoy bond vigilantes. Speaking in an election rally this week, Modi said that the Congress party would calculate the gold with mothers and sisters and redistribute it among Muslim and infiltrators. It doesn't matter that the opposition group has said nothing of that sort. What market heard is this: the Indian Prime Minister is so successful at polarizing the majority Hindu vote by playing on its fears. He doesn't have to pursue profligate or even populist fiscal policies to remain popular in the country's poor, overpopulated north. There are no limitation of balance sheets to execute the Prime Minister's vision of Indian growth with Chinese characteristics. Gautam Adani, the tycoon close to Modi, is ready to do everything: ports, airports, electricity, gas, roads, slum redevelopment, metals, drones, ammunition, and missiles. And he isn't alone. The Tata Group wants to be big in everything from aviation to semiconductors, while Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries Limited wants to own 1.4 billion India's digital lives and retail spending. JSW Steel Limited Sarjan Jindal sees opportunity in electric cars even as the government layouts the red carpet for Tesla INC. They are the big four in the national team to watch. The BJP government passed new labor laws in 2020, codifying 29 separate legislations into 4. 4 years later, they are still being promised as an impending reform when they have little to offer, especially on social security. Healthcare too remains underfunded. Despite an estimated death toll of nearly 5 million during COVID-19, In a country where 90% of the population doesn't even earn the average income of $2,800 a year, people can't afford steep out-of-pocket medical expenses. They would rather the government collected tax and provide universal healthcare free of cost. India is struggling to afford even the soap and detergent that Unilever plc has been selling them since 1888. Mass consumption is stressed, especially in rural areas. Shrinkflation is back. Purchasing power is limited to a tiny affluent class. But markets have nothing to worry because despite extreme inequality, the society is broadly peaceful and the economy is getting modified. Still, there remains a bigger question: who elects the head of the country? Whether it's the business tycoons or common people like us. The issues which are played in every election campaigns cannot be bigger than the ones we spoke about. As we come to the end of the video, do subscribe to our channel and keep watching our videos. Thank you.